Welcome to that 80s show. Dori, I'm so sad. I'm not going to OMD. I don't want to hear a thing about it. Never talk about it.
I'll keep it a secret.
Oh my God, that is... How are you doing, Dori?
I'm here, Paulo. I'm here and life is great. It's not so hot anymore.
You're still finding...
I love autumn.
You're still able to get warm, though.
But autumn is my favorite time of the year.
Okay, that's
so
the time.
I'm happy.
We've descended into weather chat, the 80s show. You know, it's one of the things, right? You know, it's one of the things that happen, right? Putting the show together, obviously, you like Google 80s, right?
Yeah.
You know how many weather reports you get from America? Because they're always in the 80s. They're always in the 80s, which is not so bad. So, big story this week. Where do you sit on the OJ Simpson, like, scale of OJ Simpsonness?
You mean, was I sad that he died?
Well, like, I think no one was sad that he died, you know? But, like, the whole thing about OJ, I mean, he did it, right?
Of course he did it.
No, like, he did that to shit.
Of course he did it. And, I don't think he had an amazing life after everything, you know? People hated him in general.
Yeah.
He did go to jail for a bit. Like, he probably didn't suffer enough, considering.
Oh, okay. I mean, he became an absolute pariah.
Oh, totally.
In Hollywood, because, I mean, I think Caitlyn Jenner was like good riddance.
Yeah, look, I mean, he certainly did not leave the legacy he probably was expecting way back when.
I think that was interesting because I want to talk a little bit about that because obviously, like, OJ Simpson was so 90s.
Yeah.
Like, if you go, what were the things in the 90s? I did not have sex with that woman. OJ Simpson, in South Africa context, Mandela walking out of jail. Like, those were the things. LA, right? Those were the 90s things. OJ Simpson was a huge part of it, right?
But I'll always think of him in terms of the Naked Gun movies.
Well, that's exactly what I want to talk about because what are we going to do? We're not going to talk about OJ Simpson in the 90s.
No.
We're going to talk about him in the 2000s when he did eventually go to jail.
Yeah.
Because you may not know, OJ Simpson did eventually go to jail for stealing his own memorabilia back. Right?
It's like Al Capone going to jail for tax evasion.
They always get you on tax evasion, guys. Listen, if you're like me, we're always trying to find how do we make money out of drugs? How do you become a cartel? How to become a kingpin? Money laundering. Get your taxes in order. They will always get you on tax evasion.
Yeah.
So, of course, OJ was like, gets to a point, nobody wants to talk to him. No one wants to do anything with him. And he now has to start like selling his own memorabilia.
Yeah.
And his claim was, and we know we can't trust OJ Simpson.
No.
His claim was that his memorabilia that he had auctioned off got stolen, and then he was going to go get it back from these guys.
Right.
Which, no, Jay, no.
No, Jay Simpson.
and anyway, he goes to jail for that. Strange enough, he gets sentenced for that on exactly the same date as he got acquitted in the Nicole Brown murder trial.
Huh.
That's America. America does stuff for you. So I do want to talk about O.J. Simpson in the 80s because in the 60s and 70s, he's Mr. NFL, right?
Yeah.
To kind of equate O.J. Simpson in American sports at time is like his fame is David Beckham-like. Okay? He's that big.
Was he also like, I mean, I don't know the history of race in the NFL, but was he one of the first black players?
What he did is he transcended from. So yeah, I mean, obviously NFL then was all about the golden-eyed American or blue-eyed quarterback boys. OJ kind of stepped out of that and became like an icon to all Americans, and he just so happened to be black.
Yeah.
And and he became mainstream accepted. And there was actually allegations, I remember, of the time of them going, you've actually denounced your blackness because he only ever dated a married white woman. You know, he had Hertz commercials. He was they said, you know, you sold out to white America. So he always had that over him. But yeah, universally, everyone loved the juice.
Right.
That's what his nickname was. You know,
yes.
OJ, the juice. It's imaginative. It's creative. So he was this superstar football player, NFL records. He was the youngest person, or not the youngest. They got him into the NFL Hall of Fame like almost immediately after he stopped playing, which like some players wait decades. He got like straight away. He was that guy. They loved him. But in the very early days of his football career, he actually wanted to become an actor. So when he left college, gets drafted, and he asks the Buffalo Bills, that was a team he was playing for, here's the contract I want, which would have made him the highest paid player in the NFL. And they're like, you're a rookie. Like, you just came out of college. He's like, well, if you don't like it, I'm going to go act. Okay? He wanted to be an actor because he saw that he did some like extras work on some sitcoms, TV movies at the time. And he noticed two of the actors ordered in lunch on a private jet, flown into them. And he's like, that's what I want.
Right.
I want that stuff. So he always harbored this thing about being an actor and always took acting classes. And he was huge in commercials. I mean, there was, like, we didn't live in America, but there was a time in the 60s, it's predominantly 70s, OJ Simpson was on every commercial. He was just endorsing everything. Sure. Hertz, car rentals, predominantly. And so now he ends his career, 1979, almost immediately goes into movies. Now, of course, the ones we know him best for are the Naked Gun series. Yeah. He played, what was his character?
I don't remember.
Oh, no, I'll get you the name of his character. A little fun factoid I found is that Arnold Schwarzenegger reveals that OJ Simpson was actually in the running to play the Terminator, which he eventually did end up becoming, so to speak. Very specific Terminator. Thank God he did not come. He finished the job off. He did not have to come back. So he was kind of like mooted to be, James Cameron was looking at him to play the Terminator. How different things would have been.
Wow. Hey?
Imagine that. And his character in Naked Gun was Nordberg.
Right.
And he was this hapless guy, like every cop in Naked Gun was hapless. He just kept like getting damaged, like getting hit by cars, falling off things. He was like hilarious. He was like,
He was very funny.
He was very funny.
He did it very well.
So that's...
He had comic timing.
He did that. So he did that. But of course, so Naked Gun, we all remember Naked Gun very fondly. Love Naked Gun. To this day, if I see it on some streamings, I'll still like go, I'm going to watch this. I love it. Leslie Nielsen kills me. Ooh, is that a incorrect turn of phrase?
We'll let it go.
In the context of this conversation. Let me tell you about some of the other stuff that he was in before the Naked Guns, right? So now people just bring him in because they go, this is friggin' OJ Simpson. So in 1980, right, he was in a movie called Detour to Terror.
Wow, that sounds like a Paulo type movie.
Yeah. He played a character called Lee Hayes. A homicidal dune buggy trio terrorizes a busload of Las Vegas-bound tourists with the intent to kidnap one of them. Okay? That was O.J. Simpson, Detour to Terror. I know nothing about this movie. I don't know what he did. I don't know if he was in the dune buggy.
Does it look B-grade-ish?
Oh, Dori, it is like, what's the last letter of the alphabet? Z-grade, Dori. Okay, but it gets better. He was in another movie called Goldie and the Boxer Go to Hollywood. Okay, 1981, a TV movie. He plays a heavyweight boxer. Now, at the time, he would have looked heavyweight boxer. He's like fresh out of his career, good-looking guy. A heavyweight boxer and his little girl, manager/friend, flee from a promoter and the adoption officials. Is his daughter the manager?
Huh?
Because it says,
you lost me there.
Yeah, it says a heavyweight boxer and his little girl manager/friend flee from a promoter. So it doesn't say his daughter. So he's obviously got a little girl who is his manager.
When they say little girl, what is she, 5?
I don't know. I mean, it's played by somebody called Melissa Michelson, who doesn't even have a picture on IMDb. So we could look more into that.
Yes.
Goldie and the Boxer.
Maybe try to find a trailer.
Yeah, Go to Hollywood. Okay. Oh, this next one. So 80s, another made-for-TV movie. He played the character Michael Brennan. Okay. O.J. Simpson plays Michael Brennan, a San Francisco private eye who gets dragged into a drug smuggling operation while searching for the girlfriend of a client, leading Brennan to a politically prominent family The movie was called Cocaine and Blue Eyes.
Never heard of it.
The Blue Eyes is the name of somebody because they're
Right.
both in capital letters. Cocaine and Blue Eyes. Starring such notaries as Cliff Gorman, Eugene Roche, and Candy Clark.
I know who Eugene Roche is.
Okay, well, you do good for you. Eugene Roche playing Sergeant Curry in it. Eugene Roche, okay, he was in Soap, Executive Decision, Airwolf. Okay,
Yeah,
Seventh
yeah.
Heaven.
Oh, God.
Oh, but it's not done. It's not done. We're looking at the movies that OJ Simpson was in before Naked Gun. Hambone and Hilly. Okay, from 1983. He plays Tucker, a dog, Hambone, the Hambone and Hilly, treks from New York City to Los Angeles to be reunited with his owner, Hilly, meeting a host of helpers along the way. So it's just fun. The dogs, I assume, talk because Lillian Gish played Hilly. So, oh no, wait, Hambone's the dog. Never mind. That's me just not paying attention. Okay, so that's another movie here.
I mean, you wouldn't be amiss presuming a talking dog from an 80s movie.
No. I mean,
It was a common thing.
people still do talking dog right now these days. What else was he in? Well, this one I did consider for a little bit recommending as a movie of the week. He plays in a movie called Back to the Beach. Okay. A movie that is a parody that they said what Grease did for 1950s Greases, this did for 1960s like beach blanket movies.
Okay.
Remember you remember those?
Yes.
There was like we got a lot of listeners in the States, so they'll know that. South Africa, I don't know if we had that. But like beach blankets movies, it was like kids going to the beach, they do the doo-wop, you know?
Yeah.
They do little dances, things like that.
Yeah.
So this movie was a...
They throw around a big inflatable ball.
I may watch this movie because there's a lot of 80s babes in bikinis.
Okay.
But 60s bikinis. Okay. Who else was in this movie, Back to the Beach? Frankie Avalon. To give it that authentic 60s twist. Lori Loughlin.
Oh.
She was in 1987. A good Lori Loughlin before she had her own issues. Okay. So he was in that. I don't even know who he played. He's not in the main characters. And
It's probably like a tiny appearance.
Tiny. Playing himself. And then he was in another movie, a 1987 TV movie called Student Exchange. So Carol and Neil are successful in terms of grades, but not very popular at their high school. When Carol comes to know that 2 foreign exchange students from France and Italy were redirected to another school, she figures she and Neil could take their places and be in the middle of public interest for one semester.
Sounds fun. Sounds like a typical high school 80s romp.
You know what it does. The problem is there. You've got OJ Simpson in the mix, and he's going, hold on a second. You've got 2 unidentified people here, primed for me. So needless to say, OJ Simpson did not win any awards for any of those. He actually, in this movie, he plays the soccer coach. So he's gone from being private eyes and boxers to just a soccer coach in a high school.
So wait, which year was the first Naked Gun? Was it 88?
1988.
I thought so.
Yeah, so he is in that 1988.
But then that was really his big break in the movies. Because before that, nobody would have seen these movies.
He then, in the 80s, he goes into, again, nothing major. I mean, imagine O.J. Simpson is the Terminator.
Sure.
You know, suddenly you're going, like, all of these are like novelties because you go, oh, wow. Because then would he have been in Predator? Would he have been in The Last Action Hero?
Would he have been the governor of California?
Exactly. Would he have taken Arnold Schwarzenegger's life? Is there a parallel universe where Arnold Schwarzenegger
kills his ex-wife?
You know what I'm saying?
Wait, does he have an ex-wife? Well,
he does.
Be married to someone different.
He married a Kennedy, Maria Shriver.
Yeah.
She was a Kennedy. So he married her. I mean, the whole thing is just like, Schwarzenegger killed a Kennedy. You know? I don't know. That's all speculation. No, how that is. Dori, so music sucks now.
Well, that I know.
Yeah, no, it sucks now.
Yeah.
according to science.
Ooh.
Ooh, yeah. So it's not just us. They did a study. The headline says music lyrics have gotten simpler, angrier, and more repetitive since the 80s. You know? So songs have gotten all of those things. They did research on it. Predominantly because why songs have gotten shorter is because of two things. Firstly, attention span. People are stupid.
Yeah.
And secondly, since streaming services have come up,
Yeah.
is that it's no longer, you only get paid once a song is fully streamed. So if you have a long song, it's not getting streamed properly, right? So you've got a new long song, people aren't listening to the whole thing.
Well, except for Tool fans, because their songs are 8 minutes long.
Okay,
And
but
the
we're
Tool
now
fans
talking,
are
let's talk pop general.
Pop,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
right.
yeah, general.
Yeah, so that's why most songs are like 2 minutes something now.
Yeah. So they did a comparison of 12,000 English language rap, pop, country, rock, and R&B songs from 1980 to 2020. They found that songs that have gotten more repetitive over the years, obviously people are stupid, causing them to become less elaborate. So we're not producing Bohemian Rhapsodies anymore.
Well, I mean, very few people did.
You know what I want to say on that, right? Everyone knows Bohemian Rhapsody was just this major masterpiece of Queen, right? Showed everything that they're good at. You know what's another song that did that very well as well from Freddie Mercury? Queen was Barcelona.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. You know what I mean?
No, it's epic.
Wow. The other day, I was listening to East Coast Gold. You got to give East Coast Gold a listen. Best of the 60s, 70s, 80s. Love it. And the most random songs pop up on there. And Barcelona pops up. And I was listening. I was like, wow, what a...
Yeah.
It's operatic.
It is.
It's crescendos. It's like, that is a masterpiece.
It
right?
is. And I mean, he knew he was dying when he made that. So there's a depth to it that Bohemian Rhapsody might not have.
There's no Scaramouche. No, none of those silly lyrics. Yeah, a fantastic song.
Yeah.
I think I must put in there. So people aren't making Bohemian Rhapsodies. We're not being that intricate, not being that complex. They also say, there's more trend of people put music on in the background now. So songs can't be too complex or distract you. Do you find that? Like maybe you're able to better work to 80s music. I can't work to 80s music. I start singing along.
Yeah, exactly.
They found that rap listeners cared the most about lyrics.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. Followed by R&B listeners, of course. Love songs. I want to take an R&B song. I want to send you, lyrics. You think it's me. You think I'm deep. It's not.
But R&B is such a weird genre. There are certain songs that are considered R&B that I wouldn't consider R&B.
But is that not just all music today? I don't think music barely has a genre anymore. Music's popular music, or it's really specific because, I mean, every pop song's got a little hip hop break. Beyonce does country music. Taylor Swift does shit music.
Yeah.
So it's like everything's a little bit of everything,
Indeed.
Indeed. In the 80s, we had very defined pop, new age, hair rock,
Indie,
alternative,
metal,
not emo. What was the emo? Goth.
EBM.
It was all happening there. Disappointingly, they reveal nothing about Wham music, songs by Wham, which makes the study just incomplete. I feel,
Well, we could write theses on their lyrics. In fact, you probably have, right?
Theses, wow. Because I would have thought it'd be thesi.
No, it's theses.
Good God. Feces, thesi? No. Okay. Well, good. We will write theses. And I'll trust Dori because this is what Dori does. Dori also watches movies, which we like to talk about every week. And this week, she's going to tell us what it's not necessarily be watching. If you hear this, you like it, you're going to figure out where to watch it.
Yeah.
That's up to you. But Dori's going to tempt you into it.
Well, this week I'm actually just going to remind you of a cool series that was on during the 80s that I really enjoyed, that you may or may not have watched. I'm not saying go rewatch it, but next week, Paulo, next week, I've got a movie that everybody needs to watch.
That is called a teaser.
Yes.
Why we are so confident is because we're recording 2 shows in the same day. That's why we're so confident. It'll be the show where we're the most coherent. We're gonna go. You remember last week's show? And because we will be able to remember because normally we go, oh, fuck, what did we talk about last week? So that's why Dori is very confident that the next week's show, a.k.a. the show we recorded in the next 40 minutes, will... Okay, yes.
I'm not even going to tease this one. Did you ever watch a series? It would have been on Mnet probably, called China Beach.
Oh, my fucking loved it. Vietnam, right?
Hey? And this is the thing that I want to get into. Vietnam was such a thing in the 80s.
I mean, what are we talking about?
There hasn't been anything since then. Like, there's been a couple of Gulf War movies, but nobody really cares.
Not to the same degree, like, and because 9/11 was untouchable.
Yeah.
So you couldn't touch 9/11.
Yeah.
But right, A-Team, Vietnam War vets, MASH, Vietnam War.
Right.
You know, that's just two.
Platoon,
Vietnam War,
Full Metal
Jacket.
Right.
I mean,
Vietnam was
MacGyver.
Right. Vietnam was just a huge part of my childhood.
He flew a helicopter.
Everything about my childhood was touched by Vietnam.
Star Wars. Wonder Years.
19. The song 19 by Paul
19.
Hardcastle. Wonder Years. All of it.
So many.
Vietnam was a thing.
Yeah, it was the main thing.
And I kind of miss that.
Because I think it was very much, it must have been like the time, because wasn't Ronald Reagan had come president, wasn't he like very anti-war, like he was like very huge, I don't know. I don't know politics.
Yeah, I don't know American politics.
I know politics from the 80s from what Mad Magazine and Garbage Pail Kids told me. That's the extent of my understanding.
Let's not trust that.
No.
But yes.
I think it's more accurate. Satire. Yeah.
I just remember Nancy Reagan going, don't do drugs.
How did that turn out, Nancy Reagan?
Yes.
We're evidently winning that war.
Yes. So I do miss Vietnam, but China Beach was a little bit different to all the other Vietnam things that were out at the time, because what made China Beach so unique was it was told from the perspective of the woman. It was actually based on a book by a doctor who really was there.
Oh, wow.
You know the Dana Delaney character, the main character in China Beach?
You know what?
With a dark bob.
I am Googling right now.
Yeah.
Because I remember some hotties in China Beach.
Oh, yeah. They were. We're going to get there. But let's start with the
okay.
main character, which was Dana Delaney. She was... Oh, I don't remember her character's name. I didn't do any research.
Okay.
Going on memory. She was based on a real doctor who worked there in the same kind of setup where they were. They were in some sort of facility where basically the injured soldiers would recover.
Yes.
And that's where she was. So she wasn't like in the fighting zones, but she was looking after the guys who got injured in like this literally beachside place. That's why it was called China Beach. Yeah. And what happened was the real person wrote a book afterwards, and she had like severe PTSD from all the things that had happened there. And then they decided to kind of base the series on the book. Okay. So it's not 100% her story, but they based a lot of it on that book. And she was the main person. But then the other person who you will remember the most, Marg Helgenberger.
I have to see photos. Marg.
She was in CSI. You're the original CSI.
Yes.
Okay. So she played Casey, who was nowadays we'd say the resident sex worker, but she was the resident prostitute at China Beach.
Hey, listen, war's it's the ugly side of war.
Yeah, and the thing is, they formed let's call it an unlikely friendship.
Right.
A doctor and a sex worker.
Yes.
Formed an unlikely friendship, and they
Sounds like a Disney movie that got cancelled very early on.
They were like the main two that kind of everything revolved around. There was a married doctor who Dana Delaney's character was in love with, but he was married. It was very soap opera-ish in terms of the actual personal storylines. But outside of that, there was burnt soldiers being brought in, and there was other cast. There was other like people in the cast, and you'd see their struggles with. They were torn between, because I think that was the whole thing about Vietnam, is that it wasn't a simple situation. It wasn't a simple this side or that side kind of war.
It wasn't America's war. It wasn't America's war to be involved in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it was just a really, really, really good show. And I'll give you a little bit of facts. Why not?
You know what? I wish I was pre-warned
Why?
So I could have loaded it up because it not have an outrageous soundtrack.
Yeah, but the thing is,
song.
the soundtrack was mostly like 60s
Not the
stuff,
soundtrack,
obviously.
the theme song.
The theme song was an actual song, which is why we can't play it, because it's a proper song.
What was it?
By the Supremes.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's it. Yes.
Reflections, performed by
Yes.
Diana Ross and the Supremes. What a great song.
Oh,
And it'll forever be owned by China Beach.
and I remember the sun rising.
Yeah.
Yes. My
No,
word.
look, you know what? We'll post it on our Facebook page, the opening credits. It's on YouTube.
Oh.
It's got the song. It's got all the visuals.
You should
of
have
the
warned
beat.
me, because I would have done stretches because I hurt my back, but I did not
Yeah.
expect to take this walk down memory lane.
Oh, sorry.
I would have
Sorry.
stretched it a little bit.
It ran for 4 seasons from 1988 to 1991.
Yeah. Good show.
Yeah.
It
But
had,
it
had
didn't-
something for everyone because it had like the boring character development stuff for the ladies,
Oh, wow. Okay.
and then it had like men's without legs for the men's.
Yeah, there was some gory
Had
parts.
babes,
There were
yeah.
some gory parts, yeah.
And I remember they showed it. So in South Africa, we had this concept of the first kind of like cable channel that came here. They had this thing called Open Time,
Right.
where they gave 2 hours for free. Like you didn't have to pay for it. And they put pretty much all their big shows in there. And I remember China Beach was in that.
I think it was Sunday night.
It was, and you're kind of going, this is not. They used to have Disney in that slot because I think they had Disney from 5 to 6,
Yeah.
like Disney cartoons, and then China Beach was in 6 to 7. And you're going, I just watched Chip and Dale, and now I'm seeing that.
Seeing men burnt with their faces burnt off. Yeah.
Inappropriate, but hey, 80s. No one gave
No,
a
it was very emotionally draining sometimes.
Yeah.
But a really good show, like really well produced.
Yeah.
You know, probably
Something,
had some good budget.
you know what? Something that could hold up today, I imagine.
I think so. I watched a few clips on YouTube,
Yeah.
and it could definitely hold up today.
Wow, Dori, that is fantastic. China Beach, loved it. Loved it. In your factoids, was it China Beach a real place?
Yeah, there was a place that was called, not official name,
Okay.
but like it was a place that was called that colloquially.
Yeah.
So, set at the fictitious 510th Evacuation Hospital and R&R facility, the series cast of characters includes U.S. Army doctors and nurses, officers, soldiers, Red Cross volunteers, and civilian personnel. But yeah, so the woman who it was based on, she actually died in 2002, and she never recovered from her PTSD apparently, which is a bit sad.
My movie this week is part superhero movie, part spy thriller,
Okay,
part comedy,
excellent.
part romance, part spoof of all of those genres, and all shit.
Okay.
Okay. 1981. Disguising itself as a superhero movie. You ever heard of the movie, Dori, called Condorman?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I went to go. Remember, I've spoken in the past of that little cinema
Yeah.
that my mom used to take me to when I was a kid, and there were all the Cheech and Chong movies were there, all of them,
Fantastic.
all the dodgiest B-grade movies that you could ever imagine showed at this cinema.
Because, that's one thing we've lost in South Africa with the big, because, I mean, you
Yeah.
pretty much, you got Ster, Kinnick, or New Metro, like
Yeah.
two big chains, like
Yeah.
comparable, like AMC in the
And
States,
this
whatever.
place, I remember to this day, I remember what it looked like, what it smelled like.
Oh,
It had carpets all over the walls.
how sticky were the
Just-
floors?
No, it wasn't like that.
No, I'm not saying that, just
But
from
yeah.
people dropping stuff on the floors.
No, but
Yeah.
it was very fancy. There was carpets. They
okay.
really looked after the
Oh,
place.
nice,
Because it was
yeah.
tiny. There was like 2 cinemas.
Yeah.
And then there was the snack counter.
That's it.
And that was it. And it was beautiful. And I remember seeing Condorman there when I was a kid. So hang on, what year did it come out?
1981.
I would have seen it around then, maybe 82.
Oh,
So I would have been 9.
okay. Well, let me re-jog your memory.
I remember thinking it was very silly.
Oh, it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Now, it starred Michael Crawford.
Okay, I don't remember who that is.
You don't remember who he was, but we all know who Michael Crawford was. We're having quite I think like a refined show today because we're talking about Freddie Mercury doing Barcelona. I'm now going to talk to you about theatre productions, Dori.
I'm Googling Michael Crawford.
Michael
so I wanna see what
Crawford
he
was
looks
the
like.
Phantom in Phantom of the Opera, the Broadway show. Well, not Broadway, the West End. I think it started in West End.
Right.
You know, why was Phantom of the Opera so huge? I remember at a stage in the 80s,
Yeah.
just constant Phantom of the Opera, people losing their minds over it. They'd play, because Sarah Brightman was in this one.
Oh,
They'd play the music videos. It was huge.
Was Andrew Lloyd Webber, maybe Andrew Lloyd Webber just went through a thing where people thought, oh, this man's a genius.
Because he did Joseph and his
Sarah
Technicolor
Brightman, wasn't
Dreamcoat.
she married to either him or someone else very important?
Oh, okay.
And I think
makes sense.
there was that. Do you know that Michael Crawford is still alive? He's 82.
Yeah.
He's still alive.
Yeah.
Occupations. This is my favorite. Actor, singer, comedian, stuntman.
Yeah. That's
He's kind of done it all.
He's done it all. He started from the bottom. Now he's here, and he's still here. So he was the main character. He was the main actor in Condorman, right?
Wow. I wouldn't remember that, but that's incredible.
His character that he plays, he's a comic book artist. He's a comic book guy.
Right.
And he's got this hit comic book called Condorman.
Okay.
But one of the things about Condorman is that he makes sure before he does any shenanigans with Condorman, are the things practically doable? So he doesn't want like made up stuff.
Right.
It's got to be like, if Condorman jumps through this, can he jump through it? If Condorman flies here, can he do it? Right.
Okay.
So
he doesn't actually have powers.
No, he doesn't have superpowers.
He's a normal person.
He's a normal. I'm actually not sure about that. I can't say with authority what Condorman, if he's superpowered.
Okay.
It's just that everything he does is practical.
Right.
Okay, which means maybe he doesn't have superpowers.
I have a vague memory of him trying to fly and failing.
That's where it starts. So he goes, well, if Condorman can fly, I'm going to build a flying suit. He jumps off the Eiffel Tower.
Right. I remember that part.
Right?
Yes.
So this is what he does. He then gets approached by his friend who is in the I don't know, the CIA. Okay.
Of course it's the CIA.
And says, listen, we need you. Why him of all people? But maybe because you think in this way, you could be the perfect spy. I need to get you into Russia, and you're going to do an exchange with the KGB. Okay. The agent just happens to be a hottie. And then there's a romance. And then she says, I don't really want to do this. I'm part of this war. It's not my war. It's part of this. I don't want to be part of the KGB. And he sneaks her out of Russia. Right. Oh, big problems. You weren't supposed to be doing that, Condorman.
Defectors.
Oh. Defectors.
Defectors were a big thing in the 80s.
Oh, huge. And then now the rest of the movie is the story and the shenanigans about now them running away from the KGB. They go, when he gets her back home, and then they kind of go their separate ways. And he goes, I love her so much. He writes a comic book called Laser Lady. Now based on her. Laser Lady or something like that. Lasers. Now it's based on her. And then later on, when they're back together and now they're hiding out in this tiny little village, all of a sudden these kids appear because they've recognized Laser Lady and they all got the comic book. Like, oh, Laser Lady, we love you. Oh. The crazy thing is, at this point, maybe like 2 or 3 weeks have passed, that he's written a new comic book, published it, and it's become a hit. It's in like no time.
Hey man, he was just a hustler.
But anyway, that kind of like ruins it.
Yeah.
So then, like I say, it starts off you thinking it's a superhero movie, but it's actually a full-on spy movie. And then now, because he's got the CIA behind him, he goes, all those things that I really wanted to do, like my flying suits and everything, the CIA can build it.
Yeah.
He's got this phenomenal Condorman car with a car inside of a car.
Okay.
Yeah, there's this crazy chase scene.
Yeah.
Okay, where he's getting chased by like 7 or 8 Porsche 911s through the hills, through nameless European city hills, European country hills. And then his car, he shoots things at them, they dodge, just all these things. Then a car comes out of a car. He's got a submarine car. The car's a submarine.
So it's like a James Bond ripoff almost, hey?
But all in the mind of a superhero. Now, it's the sort of thing you watch as a kid. Like, I wouldn't have watched it at 1981. I was 1. I would have watched it later, and you're watching this like, oh, this is amazing here. I don't even care that, like, you suckered me in with no superpowers. Mm-hmm. This is like some good stuff that I'm enjoying watching. So that was the movie Condorman. Absolute flop. Because people didn't know what it was supposed to be.
Oh, I remember it being a flop.
Yeah. They were like...
I remember, but I don't think my mother enjoyed it. I think I probably did because I was a kid.
It's become like a cult movie, of obviously. All things like that are.
I kind of want to watch it again just for the nostalgia, because I bet you parts will
just jump
jog
out
my
at you. Well,
memory.
like the
Yeah.
the jumping off the Eiffel Tower.
Absolutely, I
Once
totally
you see his
remember that.
cars, that chase scene I described. Once you see that,
No, that sounds vaguely familiar.
yeah, you're gonna love it. I mean, there's a crazy guy with one eye chasing them.
Yeah.
It's got
just ridiculous.
And I
eh?
think why it like didn't work is because people like, well, it's a superhero movie, and then in the middle it's like a spy espionage movie, and then you actually making fun of all of it. So like, what are you? And it was this, subsequently finding out that it's like during this time Disney were kind of like where Disney are now. You've had this like crazy success, and the stuff you're doing doesn't work anymore, and now you don't really know what to do with yourself. Okay. And during the 80s, all Disney did was, well, what's popular? Star Wars. Okay, well, we'll make our own Star Wars. What else? James Bond. Okay, we'll do a James Bond. We can do. And this was kind of supposed to be their James Bond. Right? It's even when they end it, they set it up that there's going to be not just one movie, but multiple. This is now a franchise.
Oh, that was never a thing.
Never happened. Never happened.
Because it was such a flop.
The closest it came was a comic book, which is kind of the spiritual sequel of it. That it goes, theoretically, this is what they teased at the end of the movie they do. Also, you can, in some like Disney video games, where you go around collecting all these. So there's like some role-playing games in Disney where you collect like different items from various Disney characters, and you can get Condorman's flying suit. Of course, nobody knows what the hell it is. Like, what is this? I don't know what this is. So that kind of like pops up where it pops up again. But that is my movie, Condorman.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can't believe it's taken you this long to talk about it.
Nah, tell me about it, right? Absolutely tell me about it. But anyway, we get there in the end.
Yes.
So, sometimes when you do a movie, we say, we watch these movies so you don't have to. And I think it's like a public service that we do for people.
I watched it as a child. I might not rewatch it now.
No.
I would skim through it, though.
I wouldn't. A movie you might want to watch, sequel. They've started production of it, teased it for years and years and years. I think this is going to be a big thing.
Beetlejuice?
Not Beetlejuice. I think Beetlejuice is a shameless cash grab. Okay.
I'm so nervous about it.
Yeah.
It's gonna go either way. I'm nervous.
It's called Beetlejuice. Something with Beetlejuice too. Like, listen, people tell you the Ghostbusters movie they just had now stinks. Leave the Ghostbusters alone.
I know it, but James Acaster's in it. Do you know James Acaster? He's a comedian. He's a British comedian. He is brilliant.
Maybe if I see him. Do you see the pictures of Ernie Hudson going around?
No.
Oh my God, he is jacked.
Okay.
But jacked. The man's in his late 70s. Look at Bill Murray. Look at Ernie Hudson.
Okay.
Who's been eating clean? Who's on the paleo diet? You know what I'm saying? He is jacked as hell, Ernie Hudson.
So I'm kind of going to be forced to watch the new Ghostbusters because my kid is the biggest James Acaster fan.
Okay.
And I'm like, I love him
watch
too.
it.
I love him too.
Look at Paul Rudd.
Oh, it's
got
Paul Rudd.
It's got Paul
You
Rudd.
can say no to Paul Rudd.
That's what I'm saying. It's got Paul Rudd. It's got jacked Ernie Hudson. It's got Bill Murray after all. I mean, it's still got Bill Murray. It's got Slimer. It's got the little marshmallows now. You see that? Because of what they do in the new ones, there's no big marshmallow man.
I haven't watched any of the new ones. You know that?
Oh no, because this is only the second one.
Yeah.
Because then there was the all-female one that everyone
Never
shat
watched
on.
that.
I thought it was fine.
Yeah.
I thought it was fine.
Literally haven't watched any since the 80s.
Okay. No, it's good. Like this it's nice to see the Ecto 1. When Ecto 1 comes out, you're like, oh, fucking love it. I love it. Slimer's in it. It's got all the things.
All right.
But
I'll keep an open mind. But you're not talking about that.
We don't know what's going to happen with Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
Got Winona Ryder.
Yep.
She's back in it. No, this movie I think is going to be monstrous. I think they're going to do crazy press tours. I think they're going to, when this movie releases, they're going to be all over the place. They've started filming 40 years later Spinal Tap 2. This is Spinal Tap, the sequel. We spoke about this as Spinal Tap.
Yes.
Turn it up to 11. They always tease doing a second one.
Are they all alive?
It's coming back with the original cast.
Aren't they old?
Well, it's Rob Reiner. Dori, of course they're old. It's 40 years ago.
That's what I'm wondering. It's amazing.
But it's funny because it's like if you think about like Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
In the 80s, and now they're still around. They're still going. So
crazy.
I think there's
They are the worst anti-drug message of all.
Oh no, totally, because like drugs worked for us, it may not work for you. So they're bringing the whole cast back. And now listen, if you don't know, this is Spinal Tap. Spinal Tap invented the mockumentary genre.
Yeah.
Okay, So this is Spinal Tap was about this band called Spinal Tap, and a documentary crew followed them around.
Right.
Okay, making albums or whatever. And of course, like nobody did mockumentaries then. Now they're all over.
Yeah.
And now 40 years later, and one of the iconic is his speaker, which goes up to 11.
Right.
Silly stuff. And in the 80s, it featured like a lot of rock people of the day. I think Gene Simmons was in it.
Yeah.
A lot of the big bands then. So now 40 years later, they're doing the sequel. Okay. Doesn't really reveal what the plot is, but you can imagine. I mean, they're probably going to try to get the group back together.
I'm going to do a double feature of this. Definitely watch 1 and then 2.
Oh, that's a good idea. Do a full This Is Spinal Tap Day.
Yeah.
So it's going to have, of course, it's going to have cameo stars. So the original stars, Michael McKean, obviously Schneider, Rob Reiner is the director, Michael McKean, Harry Shearer, Christopher Guest. So they were the original Spinal Tap members. They were in their 20s, 30s then, so they're not going to be that old.
Well, I've just watched Michael McKean. I'm watching Better Call Saul, as we've discussed, and he was in that.
So I'm on season 5 of Breaking Bad. I've only got into that now.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah. So that's
then you've got to watch Better Call Saul.
That's what I'm saying. But you got to get Al Camino in the middle.
Right.
That's what I'm told. I'm told you got to complete. You got to complete everything.
Okay.
Am I a person that's not going to complete what's
You should have done Better Call Saul. No, actually, you can't do it first.
because you don't know who he is. There's no context. Yeah.
It's really good. I'd venture to say it might be better than Breaking Bad.
I've heard that. I've heard that. Love him.
So Michael McKean's a major part of Better Call Saul.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
then, I mean, Christopher Guest is just excellent.
No, they're all excellent.
In everything.
All of them. In him, Harry Shearer was one of the writers. He was a Simpson writer in the golden era of The Simpsons.
No, I know.
And
you're a big fan.
They're going to bring in Questlove, Trisha Yearwood, Elton John, Paul McCartney, Garth Brooks are just some of the cameos that have been lined up. This is Spinal Tap. 2, turn it up to 11. Turn up to 12 this time.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I would love to see how they're going to bring, because that joke's become the meme, right?
Yeah.
Even people who've never watched have no idea.
They're going to have to refer to it one way or the other.
They'll do it well. I'm telling you, this movie is going to be monstrous.
Okay.
When it does finally release, along with not a movie, but a film series. My wife very excitedly tells me, have you seen this? Of course, I've seen this. The NeverEnding Story rebooted as a multi-film franchise. Multi-film live action series that they're going into production with right now. What are you feeling about this, Dori?
My initial feeling is nervous.
Yeah.
I don't know, hey? Like, certain things need to be left alone.
So what they say is we're completely overwhelmed with interest from the television and film industry in recent years, but it was only about 4 to 5 years ago when we felt it was right to go back to Fantastica with new and fresher attention. So then we looked at hundreds and hundreds of requests. Just thought, let's see if we can find a potential partner, blah, 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 blah.
So hang on.
Someone gave them lots of money.
Yes. Okay, but this isn't a remake of the original story.
No, it's kind of an extended universe.
Okay.
So there will be throwbacks. I'm sure you're going to see a rock eater. You're going to see all the things you loved.
Will there be quicksand?
Oh, fuck, Dori.
You know what I'm saying? Like, the kids today can't deal.
No, they don't know what it is. They don't even know.
They're not going to re-traumatize an entire new generation.
I mean, for something that's like, let's be honest. I mean, have you ever, we've spoken about this. Quicksand. Where? Who? How? What? When? It's just not a threat anymore. But they're obviously trading on nostalgia. That's why they say over the years. Over the years, what it means is that people who were kids in NeverEnding Story are now have enough disposable income and kids of their own to drag them to the cinema to go watch it. That's why we want to remake this thing.
I mean, Stranger Things might have had a little bit of effect as well.
Oh, that's the 4 or 5 years. You're definitely right.
Yeah.
Definitely right. I think, which was one of the phenomenal treatment of NeverEnding Story. You hadn't seen anything like NeverEnding Story then.
Yeah.
Subsequently, we've seen NeverEnding Story so many times. That type of thing. Fantasy, kids, the song. It's got to have a song. Will they try to redo it? What's Limahl doing? Have they phoned him? Have they asked him? Because I feel he's the custodian of it.
Could he make something comparable?
Listen, love Limahl. Have you heard any of his newer music?
We've discussed this.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
We'll just move on. Listen, Madonna's tour continues.
Oh, God, what now? No, she did something good. I saw she did something good.
Well, somebody on stage did something very, very good. So is our good friend Costa? I saw him on his Facebook. He went to go watch one of his shows in Texas.
Oh, it's entirely possible. He has been gallivanting and traveling and winning awards.
Best comedian.
Yeah. No, he's
doing the things.
Doing the things.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw on his Facebook that he went to watch one of his shows
If
recently.
there was an opportunity to go watch Madonna, he would have gone to watch Madonna.
No doubt about it.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
We need to get him on the show then to hear all about that.
You know what? What you got to do on shows is when you do a podcast, you got to get high-profile guests on to give your podcast a bump. I reckon right now we got to get him on because the man's like he's interstellar at the moment.
Hot. He's so hot right now.
So hot right now. So I think we put that in the works. But we've spoken about Madonna's tour, right? Firstly, to recap, she gets sued for starting late.
Mm-hmm.
Shame. Poor people had to ask their babysitter to stay an extra hour.
The late fan, the older fans.
Yeah, they couldn't
get
get an Uber. You know, puppy sitter's got to stay. So that was the first thing. Second thing, she told a lady in a wheelchair to get on her feet. You know, not great.
Not intentionally.
No, she didn't know, but it's all following her around.
I know.
She
got dropped by her dancers.
Yes, a dancer in high heels dropped her. Don't drop the elderly. The latest one is it's not her fault. This is last week in Miami. So, can you imagine Madonna show in Miami? I mean, listen, you want to talk peak Madonna.
Right.
Okay. So while she's in Miami, guess who she calls? Who's her friend? Ricky Martin.
Okay.
So Ricky Martin's there. Ricky Martin's going to go anyway. Madonna says, Ricky Martin, come, you're going to get on stage with me. Okay. So there is a video. I'm going to post it. I'm going to try handle the subject matter delicately, like an adult.
Okay. You?
Yeah.
An adult?
Yeah. So there is a part in the show where Madonna and Ricky Martin are sitting on chairs, thrown in the middle of the stage, and men come and dance for them, right?
Okay.
Very suggestively.
Right.
Ricky Martin really enjoyed the dance, if you know what I mean.
I do know what you mean.
His pants were living La Vida Loca, you know? He, what's another song of Ricky Martin?
I had no idea.
Any song that makes you think of Ricky Martin got an erection on stage. You fill that in here in your mind's eye. 'Cause that's what happened. These guys were bumping and grinding on Ricky Martin.
And he couldn't deal.
He pitched a tent.
Wow.
Ricky Martin pitched a
I feel
tent.
so sorry for men that they have to deal with this problem.
You never know when it's going to pop up. And Ricky Martin certainly didn't know. And that was it. So Ricky Martin in all his glory. Hey, listen, you know what, Ricky Martin, I got to tell you, boy.
And you said there's a video.
Oh, there is a video. And I'm saying, Ricky Martin, well done. Congratulations. I mean, you can really be proud of yourself.
Was Madonna quite excited by this?
You don't see her because you literally can't.
Okay.
It looks like somebody has put a Boswell's Wilkie Circus tent in front. Ricky Martin can be... Well done.
Okay.
Well done, Ricky Martin.
I'm intrigued.
You are... Well done is all I can say. So we will continue to keep you updated on the travails and hopefully get a live report from Costa.
I will speak to him. I'll find out when he's back in the country.
You never know. He's always...
Our gallivanting Costa.
So I've been playing a little game the past few weeks. Guess the 80s song by the first line. There is an artist. We get a picture of him or her or them or the band. And a first line. It's very easy. And then you get the 4 options of songs all by the same artist with the picture.
So far been easy. I know that we're going to get caught up at some point.
We have got every single one right so far.
Yeah.
Every single one. No cheating. Nothing.
Yeah.
Okay. So this one, Rick James. He didn't do many songs. It's not going to be hard.
I'm already nervous because I don't know his stuff very well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so maybe you'll get this one.
So he's got 4 songs. One called Ghetto Life, Cold Blooded, Ebony Eyes, and Super Freak. Okay?
Okay, I know Super Freak, so if it's Super Freak, I'll
know. The lyric goes, she's a very kinky girl.
Okay, it's Super Freak.
Super Freak, correct. This one, AC/DC. Haven't had anything by them.
Ooh.
The song options are Back in Black, Hell's Bells, You shook me all night long and shoot to thrill. She was a fast machine. She kept her motor clean. So listen, it's either Back in Black or You Shook Me All Night Long. They don't try to trick you. See, Back in Black starts in Back in Black.
Does it? I don't know this stuff well enough.
So I'm going to say You Shook Me All Night Long.
I would go for that as well. So let's just take it.
Correct. Correct.
Okay.
Has a very recognizable opening line. Casual AC/DC wouldn't necessarily need to wait that long before they recognize the band's post-Bon Scott smash hit. Even those opening guitar notes are a major clue. We do not get the opening guitar notes, stupid quiz.
No.
So up yours. This one will make you happy, so don't worry, it's very easy. Here's a little song I wrote.
Bobby McFerrin.
Don't worry, be happy.
Be happy.
You want a Grammy for that? Ooh, this is a little tricky, Dori. I'm going to need you. I'm going to need you.
Do you not know who the band is?
I don't recognize them.
Okay, I'm coming to look.
Okay, Dori knows. We got a head nod.
Yep.
5 gentlemen.
Right. The one is wearing a hat, which is what's throwing you off.
2 are wearing hats.
Okay, well, the tall one is wearing a hat, which is what's throwing you off. If he wasn't wearing a hat,
distinctive hair.
He'd have a very bald head, much like you.
Distinctive not hair.
Yes. And then you would know who they were.
Okay.
But read the songs.
Right. So the lyric is Out Where the River Broke. The songs are Put Down That Weapon, Beds Are Burning, The Dead Heart, Short Memory. I'm going to go, it's Midnight Oil, Beds Are Burning.
Midnight Oil. Indeed, it's Beds Are Burning.
Okay. There we go. I don't know why I thought Midnight Oil looked like that. Next one is, the lyric is, Darling, you got to let me know.
Okay.
Rock the Casbah, know your rights, straight to hell, or should I stay or should I go? Darling, you got to let me know.
Should I stay or should I go?
Very easy. Okay, The Clash. And finally, for this week, we got nothing wrong.
So far.
Dream
so good.
Team. What a stupid skill to have. This.
I think this is fantastic. I'm going to put it on my CV.
Very unique. Ozzy Osbourne.
Okay.
So not sure if it's Ozzy Osbourne as a solo artist or he was with Black Sabbath, right?
Think so?
I think it was a Black Sabbath. Fun fact, Ozzy Osbourne, we're talking about OJ Simpson at the beginning of the show. Sharon Osbourne and Ozzy Osbourne say that OJ Simpson and Nicole Brown were their cocaine dealers in the 80s and 90s.
Huh.
Now, again, we got 2 of the people involved in that are no longer with us. One was very evidently a good liar, and then you've got the Osbournes. So to kind of corroborate the story, did the Osbournes take drugs? Sure.
Right.
Were they from OJ Simpson?
Possibly. Very possibly.
Were they their drug dealers? Because Sharon Osbourne said on her TV show, The Osbournes, that this was a hit because Nicole Brown was selling drugs on a drug cartel's turf. This was bullshit. What are you talking about? I read way too much OJ Simpson content this week. Way too much. But it is Ozzy Osbourne.
So hang on. Sharon Simpson. Sharon Osbourne thinks that OJ was innocent then.
Yes.
Is she saying somebody else killed Nicole?
She says that, yes, the cartels or drug dealers killed Nicole because she was selling drugs on their turf.
I mean,
listen,
it's possible.
Sharon Osbourne.
Okay, let's go back to the quiz.
I'm not saying any of that is not plausible.
No.
But I'm just saying it's not what happened.
Exactly.
Probably. The Osbournes again.
More than likely.
We're talking about Osbournes. So the songs are Bark at the Moon, Close My Eyes Forever, Crazy Train, and No More Tears. Gotta say, I don't know any of those.
I don't know any of them.
Like maybe if I heard one.
Oh my goodness, we're going to get this one wrong.
Screams break the silence. That is the lyric. Screams break the silence.
Dude, this is going to be pure guess.
I mean,
I do not know.
Could we invoke satanic panic on this and not do this one because it's against our beliefs and that those of the U and the Heskenut? You know what I mean?
No, we
got to.
This is a pure guess. Wait, okay.
You
say the lyrics again and then say the song titles again.
To give context, we're playing a game.
Right.
Guess the 80s song by the first line. You get a first line, You get an artist, you get 4 songs, you got to guess where the line comes from.
Come on.
No,
Okay.
I'm living dangerously.
Oh my God, you're going to guess it. You're going to get our first wrong one. Wait, read them first. Let me see what we can guess.
Bark at the Moon,
Right?
Close My Eyes Forever, Crazy Train, No More Tears, Screams Break the Silence. I've heard of a song called No More Tears. I've heard it.
Screams break the silence. Screams and tears kind of go together.
Screams Break the Silence.
Okay, I'm closing my eyes. Let's hope for the best.
Incorrect.
Ah!
Bark at the Moon is the correct one. Fuck you, Ozzy Osbourne.
He broke our streak.
He broke our streak. If it
Look,
was
we
gonna-
knew it was coming. Hey?
We knew
it was coming. I
we
can't
would-
believe it was Ozzy though.
I can believe it though.
No,
because
I'm not a fan. I'm just not a fan.
But exactly though. I mean,
Yeah.
imagine if like it was like The Cure that's tripped you up,
Yeah.
or the Smiths, or somebody that like we listened to, OMD.
Like if it was Taylor Swift, I wouldn't know.
Yeah. So I mean, we don't listen to. We weren't allowed to. They didn't play him on the radio. It bit a bat's head off.
Yeah.
Satanic Panic. It's not our fault.
Right.
We were brought up in a sheltered society.
Okay.
So
Let's go with that.
yeah. So it's not our fault.
We've still done very well.
Oh, fantastic. We're not done yet.
Okay.
One wrong out of like, I think we're on close to like, there must be about 100.
Okay.
One wrong out of like, that's good going. But okay, well, we'll pick this up next week. Let's see if there's anything else. Damn you, Ozzy Osbourne, you bastard. Not for the first time. This is That 80s Show. Fun week. Remembered OJ Simpson and his non-existing acting career. Condorman, Dori seemed to like that. China Beach.
Yo.
Reflections of...
Wait till next week's movie, though.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. This has been That 80s Show. Dori, thank you so much for joining me. Goodbye.
Thank you for inviting me. Goodbye.